Hey everyone, this is Karthik, and in this video I'm going to really cover a lot of content. Hopefully this is going to be very helpful for most of the people who are preparing for coding interviews. And to summarize the overall contents that are going to be in the video, we're going to have 5 problems in this video, and the name of the problem is going to be best time to buy and sell stock. We're going to cover all these 5 variants, and this is so frequently asked in coding interviews that if you sit for a coding interview at any FANG company, there's a very good chance you'll be asked one of these 5 problems, or if not exactly these 5 problems, maybe somewhat a variant that is solvable if you know the solutions to these problems. In this video, we'll go through all of these 5 problems. We will come up with the solutions with proper discussion why something is right and why something is wrong. We'll come up with the DP solutions. We'll actually implement them and submit them on Leetcode for more clarity. And yeah, that's it. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. That motivates me to make more content for you guys, and I do hope this will be helpful for everyone. Just to give you a bit of context, a few days back I made a community post about this dynamic programming patterns blog, and I think it's a really useful resource for learning DP for coding interviews. And these 5 problems come from this blog itself, and therefore I'll be doing them on Leetcode. So we have a lot to do in this video. Let's get started already. Yeah. So the first problem we have is best time to buy and sell stock. I think all 5 problems are best time to buy and sell stock only. Anyway, cool. So it says you have an array for which the ith element is the price of the given stock on day I. Cool. You have a prices array that gives you what is the price of a particular stock at day I. Price at day I. And you know that there are a total of n number of days. What you can do is you can do one transaction, at most one transaction. You may do nothing also. You can do 0 transactions, that is allowed. But you can do one transaction, and a transaction basically means buy and sell. Buy and sell. So this process of buying a stock and then selling it is counted as one transaction. And this is going to be generic for all the problems. So let me put this here. This information is going to be generic for all the 5 problems. One transaction means buy and sell. Prices at I represents what is the price of the stock at day I. And overall that there are n days. This information is generic. Now in the easier variant, yeah. So this thing is general. In the easier variant, what we are allowed to do is we are allowed to do at most one transaction. We are allowed to do 0 also. So if you do 0 transactions, that means you neither buy a stock nor sell a stock. You will earn 0 rupees. What you want to do is you want to make the maximum possible profit. So if you do nothing, you make $0, of course. If you do something, you will make more dollars. Since this problem was quite easy, so I already coded it up so that we don't waste much time. For others, we'll be coding them from scratch. Yeah. In this one, you can see that these were the prices, and the answer is that you can make at most $5 if you already knew this thing, and you are allowed to make one transaction. How? If you buy a stock at price 1 and you sell it at cost 6, then you get a profit of $5, right? So the idea here is that I will try out selling the stock at every ith day. So if I'm selling at the ith day, then when should I buy? Then when should I buy for maximum profit? So if I'm selling at the ith day, imagine that I fixed that I'm going to sell the stock at the ith day. Then when should I have when to buy the stock to make the maximum profit? Of course, if I'm selling at the ith day, then buying has to be done during the days from 1 to I-1. Right, that's obvious, because otherwise you don't hold a stock at day I. So if you are selling a stock at the ith day, then you need to buy the stock from somewhere in day 1 to day I-1, right? When to buy? Since the price of selling is fixed, that is the prices at I, right? the prices of buy should be as low as possible. That will give you the maximum profit. So among these first I minus 1 days, whichever day had the minimum cost or the minimum price for the stock, that is the day I will make a purchase, so that the cost of purchase is as low as possible, and of course cost of selling is fixed. So I know that if I'm selling my stock at the ith day, then what is the maximum profit I can make? I will try to sell at every possible I. Sell at every possible I. That means try selling the stock from I equal to day 1 or day 2 to day n, because you cannot sell a stock at day 1 because you don't hold one. So try selling at every possible I and see what is the maximum profit you can make at each and every of these I's. Among these, whichever is the maximum, that is your answer, and you're done. Cool. So if you look at the code here, it does exactly it. First of all, if the prices array is empty, that means the number of days you can do buying and selling is 0, then return 0. Otherwise, assume that the profit you're making is 0 when you make 0 transactions. And currently the cheapest stock available is at day 1, right? Now try selling the stock at day I for every I that is there. So for every day, try selling the stock at the ith day. And since you're selling, you will earn basically you will get a revenue prices at I, and you will lose a revenue of the buying, right? The cost which you paid to buy the stock will be subtracted, and the cost that you the revenue that you generate by selling the stock off is this one. Meanwhile, keep maintaining what is the minimum stock in the range 1 to I minus 1, and you are done. This is a big O of n solution, and it works beautifully well. So that was a very easy problem. Let's move to the next one. Yeah, it already got accepted, but I just submitted it again anyway. Cool. So let's move to the next problem. Come on, show me that accepted thing. It looks good. Yeah, we got an accepted, and yeah, now we can move to the next problem. So the second problem is a medium one. Also, the solution to the first problem is in big O of n, only because I was maintaining that cheapest variable. Otherwise, I'll have to loop through the previous days to find when it was the cheapest, and that would be n squared. Cool. Yeah. Now the second problem, you can read through it once and then I'll explain. So now this particular problem says that I can make any number of transactions. That's good. Number of transactions is not limited, but whenever I make a transaction, there is a fees of processing. So whenever I try to make a transaction, I'll be charged some money. How do I make the maximum possible benefit in such a case? You may complete as many transactions as you like, but you need to pay the transaction fee for each transaction. And as said, transaction is basically buy and sell. So for one buy and sell pair, you will pay the transaction fees 1. Constraints are 50,000 is the number of days, that the maximum number of days is 50,000. Cool. Let's move to the solution already. I will think about it in this way. I need to find out best answer for the days 1, 2, 3, so until the nth day. I need to find the best answer for this. Given that I can make any number of transactions. Currently, I do not hold a stock, right? That matters because when I'm at the ith day, I need to know whether I hold a stock or not. Now, at the day number 1, I have 2 options. I can either buy a stock or not. So, at any day, at any ith day, you have 2 options. Either buy. Let's say if you do not own, if you don't own a stock, then at the ith day you have 2 options. Either you buy one or you don't buy one, right? Either buy or don't buy. Similarly, at any ith day, if you own a stock, if you already own a stock at the start of the ith day, then you have 2 options. Either sell it or don't sell it, right? There's nothing other than that you can do. Initially, at day 1, you don't own a stock, right? So you need to find out what is the best answer for the first n days, and you don't own a stock at the first day. So I'll represent it as not own. So you need to find what is the best answer for this. That's all you need to do. And you know that at day 1, you can either buy a stock or don't buy. So among the two possibilities, whichever is the possibility that is better for you, you'll go with that. And since for every transaction I'm being charged a fee, I'll try to incorporate it in this way. As soon as I buy a stock, I'll assume that I'm making a transaction and I'm losing some money, right? So as soon as I buy, two things happen. One is that I pay prices at I. If I buy at day I, I'll be paying a price of prices at I to buy that stock. Plus I pay a transaction fee. And when I sell, as soon as I sell a stock, two things happen. Oh no, only one thing happen. I get, or I'm being paid, I get prices at I. If I'm selling at prices of I get a positive value of selling that stock off. As soon as I buy, these two things happen. Cool. Since you've done till here, now I'll define a DP and we'll implement that. So I can define my DP as this: DP of I, comma, not own and own. So DP of I, comma, not own is what is the max profit I can make from the days day I to day n. What is the maximum profit I can make from day I till day n, given that I currently do not hold a stock, given that I don't own a stock. And similarly, you can define DP of I own also. What is the maximum profit I can make from day I till day n, such that I do own a stock, right? Now, if you think about it, my problem statement was what is the maximum profit I can make from day 1 till day n, given that I don't own a stock, right? So that means by definition, my answer is DP of 1, comma, not own. That's as simple as that. That is my final answer, right? Let's build up the recurrences now. So let's build for DP I not own. Now we know that when I'm not even owning a stock, I have two options, right? Either I buy one or I don't buy one. If I do not buy one, then I need to find what is the maximum benefit that I can make from day I till day I plus 1, from day I plus 1 till n, given that I don't own a stock. That's it. I'd like to find that out if I don't buy a stock right now. But if I do buy a stock, that means I lose some money first of all, because I'm buying a stock. So I lose this money. I lose prices at I, and I also lose a transaction fee. This is the money that I lose for buying a stock at day I, and then I'd like to again find out what is the maximum money that I can make from day I plus 1 till day n, given that I do own a stock because I just bought one, right? Among these two options, I need to choose the better one. These are the only two possibilities. I'll choose the better one among these two, and whichever is better means where I'm making more money, so maximum. Among these two, whichever is maximum or more, that is my final answer. So we have a recurrence. We can have a similar recurrence for DP I own also, but for now I'm not going to write it. Let's implement this quickly and we'll move to the next problem. You can let me know if something is not clear and I'll help you out with it. I'm going to implement this top down. So imagine that I am at day I. I currently own or not own a stock that will be given by this boolean own variable, and I'll also pass in this vector array for the prices thing. I also need to pass in the fee, so I can pass in integer fee and I can pass in the vector also. Cool. Now if I think about it, a base case, if there is no day left, then I equals to prices dot size. There's no more day left, then I cannot do anything, right? I can neither buy, sell. There's no market there. Simply return 0 because you cannot do anything anymore. All the days have passed. You can simply return a 0. That's okay. Otherwise, if you're at the ith day and you own or not own a stock, we'll decide among that. If you own a stock, then wait, we discussed not own, so we'll implement not. Okay, let's implement own first. So if you own a stock, you know that your answer is going to be best of two options, and the options were, the first option is I do own a stock, right? I can sell it if I want to. If I sell the stock, I earn this much. Plus, I need to find out what is the most money that I can make from day I plus 1 till day n, Given that I do not own a stock, because I was owning a stock but I sold it for this money, and now I don't anymore own a stock. So I need to find the best answer for that. The other option is that if I'm owning a stock, I don't sell it. If I'm not selling it, I don't lose any money or make any money. But I still need to find out what is the most money I can make from day I plus 1 till day n, given that I do own a stock even now, and the constants as it is. Among these two options, whichever is the better option, return that. So return maximum among these two options. And the other case was else, if I don't own a stock at the ith day, then this one. I'll have to code this up. Also, the code can be much more concise, but let it be. Who cares? Option 1 is that if I do not own a stock, I buy it. Buying means I lose the money of the stock, the current cost of the stock. Also, I pay a transaction fee. So this is negative for me. This is the money that is going out from my pocket. Plus, I need to know what is the most money I can make from I plus 1 till n, given that I do own a stock because I just bought it. Other option is that don't buy a stock, don't lose any money, and you don't own a stock. So make it 0 here. I do not own a stock here. And make it 1 here. I do own a stock here. Cool. Return, and we're done. That's it. Now just check if prices.empty. Then simply return a 0. Otherwise return solve. What is the most money you can make from day 1 till day n, given that currently you don't own a stock, the processing fee is fee, and the prices array is prices. Let me run the code. Hopefully it runs. Although currently the time complexity is high because we haven't applied DP, also the solution is incorrect due to some reason. Let me quickly understand why the solution is incorrect. No. Cool. If all the days have been processed, then return a 0. If you own a stock, then do this. You can either wait, if I own a stock, then I can sell it. Cool, that's okay. And then I no longer own a stock anymore. And if I do not own a stock, oh wait, my prices array, it's 0 based indexing. So forget about it. This I need to make it 0 based indexing, otherwise, because my prices array itself is 0 based, so make it 0 here. And check about this. Yep. I had to do that only because I was thinking about solving it in 1 based indexing. However, the array prices array is 0 based. Now the answer is correct. However, it will still time out for me. So what I'll do is I'll make a DP array for myself. Maybe something that is private. So integer DP. I need to store this number of days. So I guess that's up to 50,000. Then I need to store the whether I own a stock at this day or not. So 2 for that. And this array should do the trick for me. I can set it to -1, meaning that I have not solved any subproblem yet. We'll try to use the same code for the next problem as well if possible. And if dp at IOWN is already solved, that means it is not -1. So if I've already solved it, then return the answer instead of actually calculating it again. That brings down the time complexity by a huge margin. I'm basically memoizing all these subproblems. And there are a total of n into 2 subproblems here that I can see. And the transition time per problem is also n into 2. Oh, sorry, O1. So overall time complexity is big O of n into 2 or big O of n. Cool, it worked. Now we can move to the next problem. Next problem is buy and sell stock with cooldown. So the problem is almost the same as the previous problem. Say an array for the ith element design algorithm. So you can again complete as many transactions as you like. That part stays the same. After you sell your stock, you cannot buy stock on the next day. So now the only thing that has changed is that there is a cooldown after you sell a stock. That is the only thing that has changed. So if I sell a stock at the ith day, then at the I plus 1th day I cannot buy again. That is what they mean by cooldown. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Let me see. Also, there is no processing fee this time, I guess. Yeah. So in this problem, there is no processing fee. However, there's a cooldown. Probably we'll be using the same code, so we'll see. I'll think about it in this way. I need to make the maximum profit from day 1 till day n. So that thing is going to remain same. So dp of I, what is the maximum profit that I can make from day I till day n? That is what I mean by dpi. And of course, I need to find out dp1. But there are a few more things that I need to keep in mind. One is, do I own a stock or not? That I do need to know. Whether I own a stock or not. And if I do not own a stock, then I also need to know whether I'm under cooldown or not. So if I'm under a cooldown, then I cannot buy a stock, right? So if I don't own a stock, I need to know whether I'm under a cooldown or not. So these two variables can actually help me understand the entire DP state. The entire decision making can be done through these two variables. So think about it like this. I can define it like this. DP of I own cooldown. Let me say DP of I do not own a stock and I'm not under a cooldown. This means, what is the max profit that you can make from day I till day n such that you currently don't own a stock, so that no stock owned plus no cooldown. So if you're not under cooldown, this means that you can happily go and buy a stock at the ith day. If you were under cooldown, that means that currently you cannot buy a stock. Similarly, let me define this thing as DPI not own and cooldown. That would mean that what is the maximum profit I can make from day I till day n such that currently I don't own a stock but I am under a cooldown. That means even though I don't own a stock, I cannot buy a new one. This is what DPI not own cooldown would mean. And similarly, DP of I own, and this doesn't matter. If I do own a stock, then the cooldown doesn't matter, because the cooldown is basically applied onto us as soon as we sell a stock. But I own a stock, so cooldown doesn't matter. Cooldown is basically only preventing me to buy a stock when I do not own it. So here cooldown doesn't matter, whatever is the value of cooldown. But DP I own. That means what is the maximum profit I can make from day I till day n given that I do own a stock. And these are the only things that we care about. Let's see how we can actually implement it in code. It's going to be nearly the same, so let me just copy some code. Not that I recommend you to copy codes, but cool. Since it's nearly the same, so we'll copy it. All we need to keep track is another variable, that is cooldown. Let's name it cool. A lot of other things are going to stay the same. So it still is the same thing. If I own a stock, I can sell it and I can earn this much money. That's okay. Right? If you own a stock, you have two options: either sell it or don't sell it. If you sell the stock here, you earn up money. You earn this much money. Plus, you need to find out what is the maximum money that you can make from day I plus 1 till day n, given that you do not own a stock and you are under a cooldown, right? Why is that so? You are under a cooldown because you just sold your stock, right? As soon as you sell a stock, there is a cooldown applied on you. So that is why I'm sending a 1 here, meaning that you are under a cooldown. Another option is that you do own a stock and you do not sell it at the ith day. So all you need to know is what is the maximum money you can make given that from I plus 1 till day I plus 1 till day n, given that you do own a stock. So let me pass in a 1, and for cooldown I'll just pass in a 0, because cooldown doesn't matter till you sell the stock. That's it. And among these two options, I should obviously select the better of the two. The other thing is that if you don't own a stock currently, then this cooldown variable comes in place. If you do not own a stock currently, you can buy it. Buying means you lose the price for which you buy it for. So you're losing this much money minus prices at I, that is going from your pocket to buy the stock. But you can buy if and only if there is no cooldown. If cooldown equals to 1, that means there is a cooldown. So if cooldown is true, then you cannot actually buy it. So just mark that the profit is 0. it is there to signify that this option is not even a possibility. So make it 0, that's okay. And other option is that you actually make the purchase. If you make the purchase, you lose this much from your pocket, so it's negative. Plus you need to make the maximum profit from day I plus 1 till day n, given that you do own a stock and there is no cooldown. You can assume it there is no cooldown, because cooldown comes in picture when you sell a stock. You have just bought a stock, that's okay. Other option is that you do not own a stock and you are okay and not actually purchasing a new one. So you are not owning stock, that's okay. Now what is the maximum profit you can make from day I plus 1 till day n? And there is no cooldown, because even if there was a cooldown right now, on the next day onwards there is no cooldown because the cooldown just went away. Yeah, so that's cool. So even if there was there was a cooldown today, since I did not make a purchase, the cooldown is gone for the next day onwards. So this happens, cooldown becomes 0 here. Sorry about that. Yeah, and now I can simply return solve what is the maximum benefit I can make from day 1 or day 0 till day n, given that I do not own a stock, there is no cooldown, and the price is array. Let me see if I get the correct answer. If I do, then we'll apply DP to this. So we are getting the correct answer for this one. Let's apply DP. Again, there are n equal to how many days? Okay, it's not given. I'll just assume it to be 50,000 again. I need a variable for owning and another for cooldown. Complexity is asymptotically the same, space and time, both are same. It's just that we introduced another variable to keep track whether we are under cooldown or not. I'll submit and see if we get the right answer or not. Oh, we got the right answer. Congratulations. Let's move to the next problem now. Now we have 2 problems left. Best time to buy and sell stock 3. So the problem says that we need to do the same thing again, find the maximum profit, but we can do at most 2 transactions. You can do 0, 1 or 2. So what we'll do is we'll solve it for a more general problem. Instead of doing at most 2 transactions, let's try to solve it for at most k transactions, and I'll tell you why we're doing that. Basically, it's going to help us in the 5th problem. So we'll try to solve this problem for at most k transaction. What is the most profit that I can make? So initially I want to find what is the max profit or best profit I can get, given that I can do buying and selling things on day 1 till day n, right? Initially I don't own a stock, that of course we need to keep as we are doing in every problem, and I can do at most k transactions, that's okay. This is the information that I have initially, and I would like to find the best out of this. Now we know that a transaction is basically a buy and a sell combined. Now as soon as you buy, you can, or let's say as soon as you sell, you can say that okay, 1 transaction is complete, and now you can do 1 lesser transaction than you were allowed before. That's okay. So if I wanted to find the best for the first n days, given that I do not had a stock on the first day and I can do at most k transactions, then I would think about something like this. I'll think about this. What is the best profit I can get from day I till day n, given that either I don't own a stock, let's say I don't own a stock, and I can make at most j transactions. So max profit from day I till day n that I can make, given that at the ith day I do not own a stock, so given that no stock is owned by me, and at most I can do j transactions. At most can do j transactions, right? So I can define my DPI not own j as this, and another thing that I can define is DPI own j, and that would be the maximum profit I can get from day I till day n, given that I do own a stock and I can do at most j transactions. And what I can do is I could think about it like this. As soon as I do a sell thing, one transaction is complete and my number of transactions allowed decreases. Sell means that one transaction completed. Right. Now, if you think about it, the final answer is, what is the maximum profit that you can make from day 1 till day n? Given that you do not own a stock, initially you don't own any stock, right? And you are at day 1. And you can do at most k transactions. That's your final answer. That's cool. Now all you need to do is come up with recurrences and you'll be done. Let's try to come up with some recurrences. So you can say dp I not own and j. We'll try to write recurrences for this thing. Since I don't own a stock, I can what? Buy one, right? I have two options. Option number 1 is you don't own a stock, okay, buy one. Buying means you lose this much money that goes from your pocket. But now you own a stock and you would like to find out what is the maximum money you can make from day I plus 1 till day n, given that you do own a stock, and you can still do j transactions, because I assume a transaction is complete when you sell a stock. The other option we have is that you don't own a stock, you don't buy one. So you will be like, okay, what is the best money I can make from day I plus 1 till day n, given that I do not own a stock because I never bought it, and I can still do j transactions. This part must be okay with you. And among these two options, of course, we'll choose the better option. Better means whichever generates me more money. The other option is that I can go for DPI. I do own a stock at the ith day and I can do at most j transactions. In that case, again, I have two options. Either I sell the stock I own or I do not sell it. So if I sell the stock I own, I make this much money. Plus, I would like to find out what is the maximum money I can make from day I plus 1 till day n, given that I no longer own a stock because I just sold it. And the number of transactions that I can make is j minus 1 because I just completed one transaction, isn't it? So that's what it means. And yeah, we're done. The other option is don't sell it. In that case, everything stays the same except that you lose one day. We have the recurrences now. We just have to implement them. Let's implement it bottom up this time. So I'll be like, okay, for integer I equals to, I'm thinking about dpi j and dpi own and j. So think about this. Days equal to, I'm thinking about from this day till the nth day, right? And since I'm thinking about 0 based indexing, so instead of 1 till n, we'll be like 0 till n minus 1. So let's start from the n minus 1th day and till the 0th day. And then either I own a stock or I don't. So let's say boolean own equals to, or what I can do is I'll not keep it here, I'll just keep it in NFLs. The other thing is that the number of transactions I can make. So let's say integer transactions allowed. Transactions allowed can start from, you're allowed to make at most 2 transactions. So let's say integer k, the number of transactions allowed is k, and I can say, okay, number of transactions allowed is equals to k. Wait a second. You need to think how the states depend upon each other. So if you think about it, to evaluate DPI, you need to know I plus 1 before, and that is why this days starts from the end and goes till 0, right? Because for evaluating for the ith day answer from I till n, you need to know the answer from I plus 1 till n. So that is why your loop starts from the reverse. But if you think about the transactions, for knowing the answer of j, you need to know the answer of j minus 1. So we can start from 0 and trans goes up to less than equal to k. Transactions plus plus. Now you have two options. Either you own a stock or you don't own a stock, right? So one is if you own a stock, then what? Else if you don't own a stock, then what? Also a base case. Think about the n minus 1th day, because that could be used as a nice base case for us. At the n minus 1th day, if you do own a stock, of course you will sell it, but you need to be able to do at least one transaction. So dp of, you can say if I equals to n minus 1. That means, if day equals to n minus 1, and you own a stock, right? You own a stock and the day is currently n-1. Wait a second. It's the n-1th day. You are thinking about the last day, what you'll be doing. There are two possibilities, either you own a stock or not. So let's evaluate what happens if I do own a stock. I own a stock. If I do own a stock, I would like to sell it, but I need to have at least one transaction allowed, because as soon as I sell, one transaction is completed. I need to be allowed to do at least one transaction. So I'll be like, okay, DP days, and wait, I never defined my DP. In fact, there are n number of days that goes up to 10 power 5. Owning and not owning is two options. The other thing is the number of transaction allowed, that is k transactions are allowed, right? I could keep it n into k also, that was a better thing to do, but for now let me just put this thing globally maybe. Yep. So I'm at the n-1th day and I do own a stock. So that means 1 here. And the other thing is I do own a stock and I am allowed to do 0 transactions. Then the money I can earn is 0, because since I cannot sell the stock I own, there's no point, right? The other thing is that DP of days at, I can do one transaction or I can do 2 transactions. In either the cases, I'll be selling my stock. So that means I'll make this much money. I'll make whatever is the price of this particular stock. This was when I owned a stock. If I do not own a stock, of course, I'm going to make 0 benefit. So I'll say, okay, DP days, I don't own a stock, I'm allowed 0 transactions. That's it. So if you don't own a stock, there's no money that you're going to make, because you cannot sell anything, and there's no point of buying a stock on the last day. So this is just what I am trying to represent. These are the base cases kind of thing. You don't own a stock, you are allowed 0 transactions. You don't own a stock, you are allowed 1 transaction. And finally, you don't own a stock at the last day and you're allowed 2 transactions. All this will be 0. If you own a stock at the last day and you're allowed 1 or 2 transaction, you'll be earning this much money. This was the base case. Otherwise, we'll see what we can do. I'll be using the same recurrences basically. Also, one thing here that I did poorly was that I know this trans is already there, right? I should not fill it like this. I should be like, okay, DP of days. I can, yeah, this one specifies own or not own. I don't own a stock. Now, whatever is the number of transactions I can do doesn't matter at all. So answer is 0, because I'm not selling anything. I don't own a stock at all. And buying on the last day makes no sense. The other thing is that DP at days, I do own a stock and trans. Now, if I am allowed to do at least 1 transaction, so trans is at least greater than equal to 1. In that case, I'm going to make this much money. That is prices at days. And if I'm not allowed even 1 transaction, then I'm not making any money. So this is now much better. I'm sorry for the stupidity I did a few lines ago or a few seconds ago, but this looks much better. Now, otherwise, what happens is that I'll think about DP days at 0. That means at this particular day, the ith day or this day represented by days, I do not own a stock and I can do this many transactions. Then what is the answer? And the other case is that at this particular day represented by the variable days, the ith day, I do own a stock and I'm allowed to do exactly this many transactions. Then what is the answer? Once I'm through with this loop, I should have my answer here. DP at 0, starting from the 0th till the n-1th day, what is the maximum benefit I can get given that I didn't own a stock initially and I was allowed to make at most K transactions. That is what my answer is going to be. So think about this. You don't own a stock right now, right? So you can buy one. Buying one means you're basically spending some money. So prices at days is the price you lose if you buy a stock. This is the price that you lose for buying a stock. Plus, what is the best benefit that you can get starting from the next day onwards. And now that you own a stock for the remaining days because you just bought one, so one is here for owning. Transactions remain the same because I decrease transactions whenever I sell a stock. The other possibility is that don't buy the stock at this particular day. So in that case, you have the remaining days, but you don't own a stock and you can still do the same number of transactions. Among these, whichever is gives you a higher profit, that is your answer. So max. The other thing was, you can either, if you own a stock at this particular day, you can either sell it. Selling earns you this much money. And then you'd like to find out what is the best benefit you can get from the remaining days, given that you don't own a stock anymore and you can do one less transaction because you just sold it. Also, you can sell if and only if the number of transactions allowed is greater than equal to 1. So if transactions allowed is greater than equal to 1, then you can sell it. But if transactions allowed is 0, then you cannot even sell the stock you own because you are out of the number of transactions you are allowed to do. Cool. And the other possibility is that you do own a stock but you decide not to sell. In that case, you will be like left with the remaining number of days. You'd like to make the maximum profit there while owning a stock and having the same number of transactions allowed. Among these two options, whichever gives you a better answer, that is your answer. And we're done with the code. I'll just try to run it, and if it works, we'll do party. Till then, guys, make sure that you like, share and subscribe to the channel. Use of undeclared identifier. Yep. I guess this should work now. Okay. Let me just define integer n equals to now we're line 21. Why don't I see any problem here? Oops. In C++ there is a semicolon after the end of the class. I think that's the problem. But why did I even erase it? Yep, it got accepted here. I'll submit, and if it runs, we'll go to the next problem, and you'll see why this particular code will really help us out in the next problem. So the next and the final problem. Yep, the problem says it's exactly the same problem. You may complete at most K transactions. In fact, it is the same problem if you think about it. So we're going to, of course, use the same code, but think about it. In the previous problem, our time complexity is number of days n into the number of transactions allowed k. So our time complexity here was big of n into k. We had no problem because k was only 2 and we said okay cool, that's like big of n only. But in this version here, k is up to 10 power 9. So if you have a complexity of n into k, that is a big major no-no, right? You cannot do that. It's big TLE for you. So what we will do is we'll make a few observations and come back to using the same code. So I'll copy it anyway. We'll see if it runs or not for this one. Right, this was the exact same code from the previous problem, except that I don't need this integer k anymore. I can have an integer dp here. Let's just keep it 100 transactions just for checking. Yep. So I'll allow n number of days. What is n? N is 10 power 4 here. That's good. In the previous problem, it was 10 power 4. Oh, it was 10 power 5, but now it's 10 power 4. So that is a good news for us. Again, owning and not owning is only 2 dimensions. So I do not even care about it. Now, if I run it, it should probably give me the test. This test case should definitely pass, and it does pass. But if I submit, I'll get a segmentation fault because of this dimension. K is up to 10.9. This is not good. Cool, I did get what I was expecting. No, wait, this is like an empty array. for this, output is 7, expected was 0. Okay, I'll just add this one. If price is not empty, simply return a 0. Don't even go further. Yeah. Yeah, so K 10 power 9, we got a segmentation fault, and if I actually put it there, then our time complexity is big of n into K, which is very bad, right? We cannot afford that. So we'll try to make some observations. Now it says that you are allowed to make at most K transactions. The number of days to make the transaction n is at most 10 power 4, right? But the number of transactions allowed is at most 10.9. Our solution is n into K, that is definitely going to time out. 10 power 13 operations is very poor. But if you think about it, to make one transaction, you need to do a buy and a sell step. And these should be done on different days. So to make one transaction, you need at least 2 days to do so, right? Because on one day you'll be buying and on the other day you'll be selling. You need at least 2 days for doing that. So if you think about it, the maximum number of transactions that you can ever make, max transactions, no matter what the value of K is, the maximum transactions you can ever make is equals to n divided by 2. Because for making one transaction you need 2 days and there are a total of n days. So you can make at most n by 2 transactions no matter what the value of K is. This is the maximum transactions no matter what. And now if you think about it, K would fall down to the value 10 power 4, nearly 10 power 4. In fact, no matter whatever is the value of K, the maximum transactions you'll ever be making is 10 power 4 divided by 2. That is, I guess, what, 10 power 3, 5 into 10 power 3, which is in fact 5,000 only. No matter what is the test case, the maximum transactions ever that you'll make is 5,000, because for one transaction 2 days are required, and yep, you can make at most n by 2 transaction and n is up to 10 power 4. So if I set this as 5001, the maximum transactions allowed, and when I come here, I will be like, okay, they say that K is up to something, but I know that no matter whatever is the value of K, I will either be making at most K transactions or n by 2, whichever is lesser. That's it. K equal to max K comma n by 2. I'll submit. And I get a wrong answer, which was least expected. But no problems. We'll see why that happens. Oops, the problem is that maximum K can be this, and it's going to be minimum of whatever K is comma n by 2, because one of these two will be the limiting factor among the number of transactions that I can actually make, right? So whatever of these two is lower, that is the maximum transactions you can make. Now let me submit. Hopefully I'll get an accepted. Oh, this time I got a time limit exceeded, which is again not something that makes me happy. 1 2 3 4, this looks okay. Somehow TLE is not making sense, because overall our solution is what, n square at worst. Our solution is big O of n squared, and we know that n is up to 10 power 4, so I'm doing at most 10 power 8 operations in here, which according to me should have worked, but for some reason it doesn't. I'll check it out why it does not. Cool. So I know that whenever this thing K is more than the number of transactions I can ever make, I can solve the problem in big O of n, because there was a test case about that. but I'll try something different which I feel might work. If it does, that would be something nice to learn. If it doesn't, then we'll go for the solution where we'll be doing it in big O of n whenever k is too big. So if I change these dimensions here, there's something known as locality of reference and caching, and that thing becomes better overall, giving me a better runtime. I'll tell you why this happens in the comment section if it works. If it does not, then we'll do that on thing. I simply interchange the dimensions. Oh wait, this would not work. There are a lot of more dimensions to change. Cool, I think I changed all the dimensions now. It might work, it might not. If it doesn't, then we'll use the ON solution for whenever k is too big. So it does not. Cool. Whenever k is too large, I'll do this. If k greater than n by 2, or in fact if it's even equal to n by 2, do the ON solution, solve or fast solve. And we already have the code for this thing, I guess. I'll call the fast solve thing. It was best time to sell and buy and sell stock with transaction fee with cooldown. Let me open this one. I think as many transactions allowed. It was as many transactions allowed, I guess. You may complete as many transactions as you like, but you need to pay the transaction fee for each transaction. Yep, we are going to use the same code. Yeah, we'll use this one. I'll say solution 2, we'll call it solve only, and this fee equal to just remove this fee variable, because right now there is no processing fee, but we are allowed as many transactions as we want. This thing runs in big O of n time. Yeah, and what I can do is I can call that part to solve the answer for me. Solution to object obj dot solve. Yep, or better yet, obj dot max profit. And we can pass in our vector of prices, and whatever is returned to us, we'll return that, and this is in big O of n time. Otherwise we'll go below and solve it in big O of n into k, and this should probably pass our time limit. Identifier fee, okay, line 12. Yep. So it did get accepted, and I'm really happy that it did. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure that you like, share and subscribe to the channel, and I'll keep bringing more and more videos for you people. Hopefully you liked it, and let me know in the comments anything you have a doubt about, anything you want to suggest, any feedback, let me know. But do hit the like and subscribe button. Bye guys, thanks for watching.